Now, chat, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know too much about Epstein. I hope you don't either. Because if you do, we're gonna have some fucking questions. I'm not gonna lie. Now, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into this video. This video is about the man every powerful person protected. Now, let's go ahead and get straight into this video. I don't know what to be expecting, but just understand it's to be expected. Word.
June 30th, 2008.
Okay.
A billionaire pedophile walks out of federal court smirking. Jeffrey Epstein just made 53 federal sex trafficking charges disappear. His victims, some just 14 years old, were never told about the deal.
What?
The prosecutor who signed it, Alexander Acosta, becomes Trump's labor secretary. The sentence is insane, 18 months jail, but he leaves 12 hours daily for work. Except during this work release, Epstein's still trafficking girls. Deputies watch him have sex in his office. One guard files...
Wait. This is too much, bruh. This is too much on the intro. I'm not gonna lie. Huh? He did what? Bro, this man, girls under 14. Let's just rewind that shit back, chat. Let's just rewind that shit back.
Alexander Acosta becomes Trump's labor secretary. The sentence is insane, 18 months jail, but he leaves 12 hours daily for work, except during this work release.
So, 18 months he got in jail, but he can leave while he's in jail, and he has little girls, 14 and under, submitting to him, and he's just, that shit just sliding under the rug. And apparently 40 something cases. I'm sorry, bro.
June 30th, 2008. A billionaire pedophile walks out of federal court smirking. Jeffrey Epstein just made 53 federal sex trafficking charges disappear. His victims, some just 14 years old, were never told about the deal.
43 sex
The prosecutor who signed it, Alexander Acosta,
lock that nigga up. Bro.
Becomes Trump's labor secretary.
That nigga still alive?
The sentence is insane, 18 months jail, but he leaves 12 hours daily for work. Except during this work release, Epstein's still trafficking girls. Deputies watch him have sex in his office. One guard...
Deputies was watching Epstein have sex with these girls underage in his office, is what they just said. This shit's sick. Ain't he dead? Keep that nigga dead. He was friends with Trump, and the nigga that signed off on it is now Trump's go-to man? Oh no. This shit looking a little suspicious.
Files a complaint, but it disappears. The FBI had everything. 36 victims' testimony, a 53-page indictment, and evidence of hundreds more girls. Then suddenly, potential co-conspirators. Every senator, prince,
why a lie?
Evidence of 136 victims' testimony, a 53-page indictment, and evidence of hundreds more girls. Then suddenly, prosecutors grant immunity to all potential co-conspirators. Every senator, prince, CEO, and president who visited his island walks free forever. Epstein didn't outsmart the system. He bought it. So who threatened prosecutors into submission? And why did victims' lawyers get disbarred for fighting back? March 14th, 2005.
Bitch. Some of y'all was just being born. This nigga, bro, so this pedophile was committing crimes when half of us that would have fought back on this shit was just being born. No weird shit, but he picked, if not a specific time in the universe, to where he could have got away with some shit like this. Because I'm just letting you know right now, Gen Z ain't going for no shit like that. On bro.
Palm Beach Police Department. Detective Michelle Pagan takes a call that changes everything. A mother reports her 14-year-old daughter was paid $300 to strip naked and massage a 52-year-old man at 358 El Brio Way.
The address?
This man is Jeffrey Epstein, a financier who claims to manage money only for billionaires, though no client has ever confirmed hiring him. The girl describes purple vibrators, a massage table shipped from Thailand, and Epstein masturbating while she worked. Detective Pagan recognizes a pattern. She starts tracking down other girls seen entering Epstein's 10-bedroom estate. Within
Oh my
weeks, she uncovers a
God.
production line of abuse. High school students recruited other students. Epstein paid $200 for bringing a friend, creating a pyramid scheme of exploitation, all between 14 and 17.
Oh
By
my
May,
God.
Pagan has interviewed 47 girls. Each tells variations of the same story, recruited for $200 massages, driven to Epstein's mansion, instructed to undress by his assistant Ghislaine Maxwell, then assaulted while Epstein's hidden cameras rolled. By October 2005, Palm Beach police have statements from 5 underage victims and 17 witnesses. Chief Michael Ryder authorizes
Oh
a trash
my
pull out.
God. Chat. First of all, let's go ahead and rewind. So, chat. What? They said that this nigga had evidence pent up against him from top to bottom. 40 plus girls, 40 plus testimonies, and this nigga was not locked up. Wait, nah, he got locked up, but only for 16, 18 months. Hello? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, how the fuck did he die? Did he get away with this?
And 17 witnesses. Chief Michael Ryder authorizes a trash pull outside Epstein's mansion. Detectives find torn messages with girls' phone numbers, used condoms, and a school transcript for a local high school student. On October 20th, they execute a search warrant. Inside Epstein's home, they discover hundreds of photographs of naked young women, hidden cameras in the pool house and garage, sex toys in the master bedroom, and a massage table still stained with fluids. The evidence points to dozens, possibly hundreds, of victims. State Attorney Barry Krischer receives the case file expecting swift prosecution. Palm Beach police recommend 4 counts of unlawful sexual activity with a minor and 1 count of lewd and lascivious molestation. Each charge carries 15 years. Instead,
That's what I'm saying. Lock his ass up. 15 years per person. You over here having sexual encounters with a minor. 15 years per person. There's 40 people. And this nigga got 16 to 18 months in prison. Nigga, what?
Krischer does something unprecedented for a child sex case. He convenes a grand jury. Behind closed doors, without police present, he presents a single victim, the least credible one who had prior theft charges. He doesn't show the photo.
Prior theft. Hold up. So this nigga closed the case, grabbed a girl who also already was out of all the girls, he grabbed one girl who had already been convicted for lawful shit in her past. So therefore she untrustworthy. Nah, this shit's sick. I'm not
The physical evidence
lie.
or the testimony from other girls. On June 30th, 2006, the grand jury returns 1 count of solicitation of prostitution. The max.
1 count? What happened to all the... Like... What happened to all the rest of the girls? Prostitution? I'm sorry. I know I keep pausing, but what the fuck?
Maximum sentence is 5 months in the county jail.
5 months?
Police Chief Ryder breaks 30 years of protocol and publicly accuses his own prosecutor of corruption. He writes a letter to State Attorney Krischer calling the outcome inappropriate. He contacts the FBI directly, bypassing local prosecutors entirely. The Palm Beach Post runs the story on page 1. Police chief battles prosecutor over Epstein case.
By the way, this is the type of people y'all vote for. I mean, I'm not like the biggest politician. I'm not really into politics, but you gotta understand like what world we live in. I'm sure if you have a kid, obviously stress coming in here and there, and your kid trying to find ways to make some money, you ain't letting this girl or boy get a job. You're not allowing them to do things because you feel like it's not their place to do it. They're gonna go behind your back and do something else. Not to say that it's right or wrong, but they don't know no better. I'm sure you wouldn't be okay with that. So why are y'all okay with allowing people like this to get away with things like that? This shit weird.
Ryder tells reporters he has evidence of a systemic operation targeting minors. Behind the scenes, Epstein's attorney, Alan Dershowitz, has been calling Krischer's office daily, threatening to destroy the victim's credibility, claiming the girls are lying for money. The FBI opens
What?
Operation Leap Year in July 2006. Special Agent Nesbitt
2006. Oh, yeah. It started in 2003, chat. 2005. I'm sorry, 2005. It started in 2005. It's 2006 now. They basically saying the girl's lying, so we just gonna put one girl on the stand. The one that got drug charges, not drug charges, but thief charges, unbelievable charges that's not sustainable when it comes to her saying her truth.
views 34 additional victims across Florida. Each tells the same story: recruited at their high school or mall, driven to Epstein's house, told they'd give a massage to an older man who'd pay them $200 to $300. Once inside, Epstein would appear in a towel, demand they undress, then escalate to molestation or rape. Several girls describe a woman named Ghislaine Maxwell scheduling appointments and instructing them how to pleasure Epstein. The federal case builds toward a 53-page indictment. But Epstein has assembled a legal team that includes Kenneth Starr, who impeached President Clinton. Alan...
He what? He impeached President... This nigga got that much power? Who the fuck, first of all, who the fuck is this nigga? For him to be impeaching presidents. By the way, impeaching means... Shit. I think it mean like, if I'm not mistaken, nigga, you the president one day, and then the next day you not. Nigga, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. And this nigga got the power.
Legal team that includes Kenneth Starr.
This nigga got the power to do that? Bro, we need to figure out who this nigga is. And why they all white? You know what?
Who impeached President Clinton. Alan Dershowitz from Harvard Law. Roy Black, who defended William Kennedy Smith.
What the fuck? Who's William Kennedy
From
Smith?
Harvard Law. Roy Black, who defended William Kennedy Smith.
What the fuck he do? He look like he doing... That nigga ain't got no lips and big ears. He look like he on some shit. I ain't gonna... Word. Don't come after me. Word.
And Jay Lefkowitz, who worked in both Bush administrations. They're about to orchestrate the most controversial plea deal in Department
George
of
Bush
Justice
ain't do
history.
nothing, right?
What leverage could make federal prosecutors abandon their strongest case? And why would the victims never know about the deal until it was too late to stop it?
The deal with the devil.
September 2007. U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta sits across from Jay Lefkowitz at the Marriott in West Palm Beach. The meeting is off the books. No official record, no witnesses from the prosecution team. Lefkowitz slides a letter across the table. Epstein will register as a sex offender and plead guilty to 2 state prostitution charges if the federal government drops its investigation.
That's crazy. So, in order for him to get by on this, he only has to register as a sex offender. What he say, twice? Some shit like that. And add another charge on there just to get the whole case dismissed. So instead of getting all 40 of the girls that pled a case against this nigga and have a whole trial and shit, in order to drop the whole case. All he got to do is take a couple slaps on the wrist. Bro, who is this nigga?
Not just against
Bro.
Epstein, against everyone. All co-conspirators receive immunity. All victims lose their right to sue in federal court. Acosta should laugh him out of the room. Instead, he starts negotiating. The draft federal indictment details how Epstein used interstate commerce to traffic minors for sex across state lines. It names 4 co-conspirators, including Maxwell and Epstein's assistant Sarah Kellen, who scheduled the massages. The charges carry a minimum of 10 years federal prison, likely life for someone trafficking dozens of girls. But Epstein's team floods Acosta's office with letters from Nobel laureates, CEOs, and university presidents vouching for their friend's character and charitable contributions.
Chat. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't know what the fuck this nigga talking about. But from the looks of it, this shit ain't looking good. It look like he just getting away with this shit. Shit crazy.
They file motion after motion, each one requiring responses that drain prosecutor resources. Most crucially, they invoke
Donald
a detail
Trump.
never confirmed but widely whispered. Epstein once worked as an intelligence asset. Acosta later tells Trump transition officials he was instructed to back off because Epstein belonged to intelligence.
So basically, because Epstein belonged to George Bush Center of Intelligence, they can't touch this nigga, even though he can touch kids? Nah, this shit wicked.
The deal takes shape through dozens of meetings between September 2007 and June 2008.
Damn, this
Epstein's
shit been
lawyers
going on
write the
for 3 to
actual
4
language of
years.
his non-prosecution agreement, the defendant drafting his own immunity. They insert a provision that the agreement must remain secret from victims, violating the Crime Victims' Rights Act that requires notification before any plea deal. On June 30th, 2000.
And before any plea deal can go on, they gotta tell them. Meaning, if anybody want to go against him, if anybody trying to do something behind his back, they have to tell him. Nigga, who is this nigga? Is he really dead?
Epstein pleads guilty in state court to procuring a person under 18 for prostitution and solicitation of prostitution.
And they didn't even charge him for the right shit. They charged this nigga for soliciting prostitution under age of a minor. Nigga, this nigga was touching them girls, from what I've heard. Nigga, what? Ew.
The judge sentences him to 18 months in the Palm Beach County Jail. But even this...
And, nigga, yes, but even this was a slap on the wrist. This is what it just says on it. This is what it say. I've already said it. Bro.
Slap on the wrist comes with privileges. Epstein
Nigga didn't even go to federal prison. He went to a county jail.
Epstein serves his time in a private wing of the Palm Beach County Stockade, separated from other inmates.
This nigga stressing
After
me out.
3 months, he qualifies for work release 12 hours a day.
This nigga can leave county jail for work for 12 hours. Nigga, there's only 24 hours. What's 12 plus 12? 24 hours. And this nigga got half of his day out of jail for touching 40 plus underage woman? Oh, nah, this nigga getting me rowdy. Oh, I'm finna get Epstein. Shh. Word.
6 days a week. A deputy drives him to his downtown West Palm Beach office each morning at 8 a.m. The office, established solely for this purpose, sits in a Class A building where Epstein meets with lawyers, money managers, and female visitors whose identities are never verified. The deputies assigned to guard him are paid by Epstein, not the county. One deputy, after watching young women visit Epstein's office, files a complaint that he's been forced to watch sex acts.
But what the fuck going on? This girl don't look a day older than... You know what? Because I don't know, but this don't look right. Do this look right to you? Chat. You let me know. Do this look right to you? Do this look right? Do this look right to you? Let me get in your face before you say something stupid before I get... Do this look right to you?
But the complaint magically disappears. Epstein is released on...
Nigga, this nigga was in jail. The white girl that he was just with, not the one that was on his lap, but another girl, the white bitch that you just seen, just went to the cops after he's already in jail. It was like, I'm forced to watch sex acts. But the fucking when she just said that shit disappeared. Bro, this nigga scary. I ain't
July
gonna lie.
22nd, 2009, after serving 13 months. The federal case is
13 months. July what? How many? This nigga, he only served 13 months. 13 months.
22nd, 2009, after serving 13 months. The federal case is officially closed. Meanwhile, victim's attorney Bradley Edwards discovers the secret deal only after it's signed. His clients never received the notification required by federal law. When he confronts prosecutors, they claim notifying victims would have complicated negotiations. Edwards files a lawsuit against the federal government for violating his client's rights. It will take 11 years for a federal judge to rule that prosecutors indeed broke the law.
11 years? So, let me just break this shit down to you. This nigga had closed case. So basically, these girls that was going to the mothers, the fathers that was calling up to the cops, hey, such and such, my kid went to such and such address to strip and take a massage this nigga named Epstein and blah blah blah. Yes, ma'am. You know, we have stories, we hearing about it, we're working on it. So yes, they're working on it, right? They gather up a whole bunch of information. The information gets sent through. Niggas get booked. This nigga get booked. This nigga goes to court. While he's going to court, because this is a federal case, this nigga ends up closing the case. I don't know who does it. I don't know. Whoever the nigga, this nigga is hiring powerful ass people that know what the fuck they doing, I guess, that wants to protect the pedophile. I don't know. Actually, I do know. Yes, nigga. Yes. From there, the case is closed and nothing is getting past Epstein, meaning everything that is supposed to be going against Epstein, like the nigga that was trying to get this nigga booked for all of these little girls he was touching, there was nothing that he was doing that Epstein didn't know and his crew. So while he had all that information from his opponent, he was also working under the table to get his name cleared from federal shit. Nigga took a plea deal that had nothing to do with what was really going on, and once he served his time, the nigga got free. And from there, the nigga was like, wait a minute, what you mean all this shit is charged or dropped? What you mean all this shit is dropped? I just gathered all this information and he just did jail time and I didn't know? This case been going on for 4 to 5 years and he did time and now everything dropped and I didn't know? Now we going to federal court again. But the judge decides it's gonna take 11 years to reopen the fucking case. Oh, nah.
Too late to void Epstein's deal.
What the fuck?
During those 11 years, Epstein returns to his mansions in Manhattan, Palm Beach, Paris, and Little St. James Island.
How he got all that money? And he got a whole island. Who the fuck is he? Nigga, top paid actors, top paid sport players ain't even moving like this. Nigga, Elon Musk ain't moving like this. I don't know, he probably is. I guess we see in 11 years.
He continues flying powerful men on his Boeing 727, nicknamed the Lolita Express. Flight logs show President Clinton flew 26 times, though he denies witnessing any crimes. Prince Andrew visits Epstein's properties multiple times, later claiming he stayed friends with a convicted sex offender to learn about international trade. The pyramid scheme continues operating, just more carefully. Young women still arrive at Epstein's properties for massages, though now they're usually 18 or claim to be. The fixer who helped Epstein escape justice becomes a cabinet member. Acosta is confirmed as Trump's labor secretary in 2017, overseeing human trafficking enforcement nationwide. How many new victims did Epstein create during his decade of freedom? And how did journalists miss a story hiding in plain sight?
Nigga, what?
November 28th, 2018.
Damn! Nigga, we went from 2007, 2005, 6, 7, 8 to 2018. Nigga, it's been damn near 11 years.
Miami Herald reporter Julie Brown publishes Perversion of Justice, an investigation 2 years in the making. She tracked down 60 victims, convincing several to speak on camera for the first time. Her investigation reveals that Acosta's office didn't just make a bad deal, they worked as Epstein's defense team. Emails show prosecutors warning Epstein's lawyers about upcoming decisions, coordinating media statements, and hiding proceedings from victims. One email from prosecutor A. Marie Villafana to Lefkowitz reads, "I will mention to the victims that this is an ongoing investigation and they should not talk to the media." She was actively suppressing her own witnesses. The series detonates across newsrooms worldwide. Suddenly, everyone wants to know how Jeffrey Epstein got away with trafficking children. Reporters dig up his connections to Victoria's Secret CEO Les Wexner, who gave Epstein power of attorney over his entire fortune. They uncover Epstein's dinner parties with scientists like Stephen Hawking and Murray Gell-Mann at his Manhattan townhouse, where he positioned himself as a science philanthropist while surrounding himself with teenage girls he called his assistants. They trace millions flowing through his financial entities despite having no visible clients since Wexner. The story that emerges isn't just about sex crimes, it's about an entire ecosystem of enablement. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York read Brown's reporting and see something their predecessors missed, a case that never should have been closed. Jeffrey Berman, U.S. Attorney for SDNY, opens a new investigation through the Public Corruption Unit, a detail that suggests they're looking beyond just Epstein. They issue subpoenas for his financial records, discovering suspicious wire transfers totaling millions to potential co-conspirators and witnesses. They execute search warrants on his properties simultaneously, preventing destruction of evidence.
Okay, so let me just kind of help y'all. Fuck, hold up. Bro, it's so much shit going on, bro. It's kind of hard to like. So basically, they're trying to reopen the case. 11 years later, they are trying to reopen the case because of a book that dropped. But when the book dropped and the girl got all this information, she was trying to keep the information on the low. So she was telling the girls not to go public with it. I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then from there, with all that evidence that they had from the book and the papers and the shit that they had, they basically trying to reopen the case, and now they trying to go and look for evidence. Epstein was trying to disguise himself as like some kind of scientist or some shit like that because he was hanging out with scientists and shit like that, but still had teenage girls. I don't know if they was underage or not, but had them working for him. And I don't know, bro. This shit getting scary. So basically where we are right now is that these niggas, these FBI agents, are at one of his locations and they're trying to go and do some searching without destroying evidence so they can get more evidence, because I guess they got a warrant or some shit. This shit, they should have been locked his ass up and kept him locked up. I don't. And then on top of that, there's suspicious, not laundering, but money going from here to here to here to keep people's mouths shut. And on top of that, a lot of the money was going to these underage girls. wires, is what was said in the video, and to the politicians and shit like that too. Money was just being, it was flowing.
Unlike Acosta's team, they move fast and silent. March 2019. French police raid Epstein's Avenue Foch apartment in Paris, finding hundreds of photographs of young women and girls. New Mexico state authorities open an investigation into Epstein's Zorro Ranch, where victims describe being flown for modeling opportunities that turned into assault. The U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General subpoenas 20 years of flight logs for Epstein's helicopters and planes traveling to Little St. James, his 70-acre private island locals call Petal Island. For the first time in 14 years, Epstein can't contain the investigation. There are too many jurisdictions, too many prosecutors, too many reporters. His usual tactics, intimidation, bribery, legal manipulation, can't work when the entire world is watching. July 6, 2019, 5 p.m. Epstein's Gulfstream G550 descends toward Teterboro Airport after a flight from Paris. He's been living abroad for weeks, perhaps sensing the walls closing in. FBI agents wait on the tarmac. As Epstein steps off his plane, Agent William Sweeney places him under arrest. The new indictment charges conspiracy to commit sex trafficking and sex trafficking of minors. There's no mention of prostitution. These are federal charges recognizing children as victims, not criminals. Inside
About
Epstein's
time.
Manhattan mansion that night, agents crack his safe. They find hundreds of CDs and hard drives labeled Young Name plus Name, photographs of naked girls, $70,000 in cash, 48 loose diamonds, and an expired Austrian passport bearing Epstein's photo, but the name Mark Epstein with a Saudi Arabia address. Why did Epstein need a fake passport?
Cause that nigga was trying to leave. The fuck? That nigga was trying to leave. Of course he wanted to. Of course he needed that shit. He was trying to leave.
And what was on those hard drives that required a safe?
You don't want to
within a
know.
safe?
You don't fucking
July
want to know.
8th, 2019. Epstein appears before Magistrate Judge Henry Pittman in Manhattan Federal Court, wearing a navy blue prison jumpsuit instead of his usual $5,000 Brioni suits. His attorneys proposed the most expensive bail package in New York history, $77 million secured by his Manhattan mansion, his Gulfstream grounded, an ankle monitor with GPS tracking, private security guards paid to ensure home confinement, and surrender of his passport collection. Attorney Martin Weinberg argues Epstein has spotless behavior since his 2008 conviction, ignoring the new evidence of continued trafficking. Assistant U.S. Attorney Alex Rossmiller counters with a single photograph, an explicit image of a young girl seized from Epstein's mansion 2 days earlier, dated 2019. The myth of rehabilitation crumbles. Judge Richard Berman denies bail on...
So basically, this nigga Epstein was trying to give up basically a lot of money, 77 million. This nigga was trying to declare house arrest and all of that extra stuff that you just heard in order to get a bail for, and he was trying to, like, you know, have security just for his safety, and was trying to get back home, give up his passport so the judge don't think he's trying to leave, even though that nigga got more. Come on, man. You don't think this nigga had a plan behind the plan? Behind the plan? Come on, man. This nigga ahead. And the nigga that's helping him, the lawyer, was like, bro, look, he has spotless behavior since 2008 when he was raping them little girls in 2008 when he was 30 years old. Now he's 40, almost 50, still doing the same thing, but it's no record of it. And then his opponent that's going against him was like, actually 2 days ago, right here, you see this underage girl that he was hanging out with. Yeah, now she's banned from the mansion and we don't hear anything about her, but I got a picture right here. And she was underage. Hello, nigga.
July 18th, Epstein poses
deny bail.
an extraordinary risk of flight, given his wealth, private planes, and foreign properties. More importantly, he's a danger to the community. Even under house arrest, Epstein could intimidate witnesses or destroy evidence. He's
Damn.
remanded to Metropolitan Correctional Center, the federal jail in downtown Manhattan. For someone who hasn't slept outside his own properties in a decade, it's a devastating blow. MCC is a concrete fortress where El Chapo awaited trial, where terrorists are held before sentencing.
Okay.
The special housing unit where
Okay, basically, okay, so they putting them in this motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? They putting them in this cell where nobody can escape. Hey, didn't El Chapo escape jail before? And they probably sent his ass here after he escaped jail. I don't know.
Epstein lands is effectively solitary confinement, a 6x8 cell with a steel toilet, thin mattress, and fluorescent lights that never fully dim. July 23, 2019, 1:27 a.m. Officer Tova Knoll responds to shouting from the SHU. She finds Epstein on his cell floor in a fetal position with marks around his neck. His cellmate, Nicholas Tartaglione, an ex-cop facing death for quadruple murder, claims Epstein tried to hang himself. Epstein tells his lawyers Tartaglione attacked him. The truth remains unclear, but MCC places Epstein on suicide watch. For 6 days, he's stripped to a paper gown, monitored constantly, everything potentially dangerous removed from reach. His lawyers petition for removal, arguing the conditions are punitive. Prison psychologist files an assessment that Epstein shows no suicidal ideation. Against standard protocol for someone who allegedly attempted suicide, he's returned to the SHU on July 30th. August 9th, 2019. Epstein's cellmate is transferred out, leaving him alone in violation of jail policy requiring companionship for at-risk inmates. The two guards assigned to the SHU that night, Noel and Thomas, are both working overtime. Thomas is on his 5th consecutive day of mandatory extra shifts. The surveillance camera outside Epstein's cell has been malfunctioning for weeks. The repair request lost in bureaucracy. Yeah, we all know what that means. At
Bet nobody
10:30
watching
p.m.,
him.
Noel and Thomas complete their last documented check of Epstein's cell. For the next 8 hours, they'll falsify log entries showing checks every 30 minutes. In reality, they're browsing furniture websites and sleeping at their desk 15 feet from Epstein's door. 4 a.m., August 10th. Epstein tears his orange bedsheet into strips. He fashions a noose, ties it to the upper bunk, and leans forward until unconsciousness takes him. Without the required checks, no one notices for 2.5 hours. When Noel finally approaches cell 220 at 6:30 a.m., finds a scene that will launch 1,000 conspiracy theories. The autopsy reveals broken neck bones more consistent with strangulation than suicide, though the
Wow.
medical examiner maintains her conclusion of self-infliction. The guards are charged with
Wow.
falsifying records but receive plea deals for 100 hours of community service.
Wow.
No one
So no one is fired. So they're blaming the guards for him taking his own life. I can understand that they supposed to go do checks and shit like that, but like this nigga's guilty. Come on now. Like, let's be real.
is fired. The warden is transferred. The camera malfunction is blamed on technical difficulties. Every single safeguard failed at the exact moment they were needed most, and all those safeguards were the only protection against Epstein testifying against some of the most powerful people on Earth. Attorney General William Barr calls it a perfect storm of screw-ups. What was the chance of that? Like 0%. FBI analysis confirms the cameras malfunctioned due to technical issues, not tampering. The guards' internet history proves they were shopping and sleeping, not participating in a murder plot. But these
Damn.
mundane explanations can't satisfy a public that watched Epstein escape justice.
So damn. So they even looked at the niggas that was sleeping and shit like that, just to make sure like they wasn't involved. This shit done got serious.
Once before. Epstein didn't
I mean,
kill
it's been
himself becomes
serious.
more than a meme. It's a referendum on whether Americans trust their institutions to hold the powerful accountable. The answer clearly is no. Even in death, Epstein demonstrates how the system breaks when it encounters wealth and connections. He spent his life exploiting those flaws. In the end, they allowed his final escape. With Epstein dead, criminal prosecution dies too. His victims file civil suits against his $634 million estate, eventually receiving $125 million in settlements.
Hold on now. Not saying that it was okay for them little girls to get touched, because it wasn't. It's not. And there's no but. But now, just playing. They got it. They got their money. I mean, at the no, it's not it's not consensual at all. I don't condone it. I just think that what they went into with was to get justice for the girls, but at the same time, they was going after his money too, and that's what they got. So, damn, that's. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all fucked up. They just got what they wanted. That's the whole thing sick.
Money without accountability, compensation without closure. Ghislaine Maxwell is arrested in July 2020.
2020. Nigga, that shit was 5 years ago. The bitch that was, she just now getting arrested? This nigga got arrested 2005, 2008, 2018. Nigga, she been helping this nigga. She just now getting arrested, chat?
Convicted in December 2021 of recruiting and grooming minors for Epstein. She receives 20 years but never reveals which powerful men participated in or knew about the trafficking. Prince Andrew settles a civil suit with victim Virginia Giuffre for an estimated $12 million, never admitting wrongdoing. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and dozens of other prominent men.
Katy Perry? Oh, Justin Bieber. I don't see Justin Bieber. Hold up. Is John Cena on this? Jimmy Kimmel? Jim Carrey? Chris Tucker? Wait, so what does these names mean on this list? Jay-Z? Like, what does these names mean on the list?
Linked to Epstein through flight logs and photographs. Issue carefully worded denial.
Pharrell Williams? Naomi Watts? Naomi Campbell? Nigga, what?
The Black Book.
Barack Obama?
Containing contact information for presidents, princes, and billionaires remains partially sealed by court order. Thousands of documents from various lawsuits slowly trickle out through court orders, each batch revealing fragments. A famous senator at Epstein's Manhattan parties, a Supreme Court justice's name in flight logs, corporate executives visiting the island. But without Epstein's testimony, without a complete unsealing of evidence, the full network remains hidden. We know Epstein trafficked hundreds of girls. We know he provided them to other men. We don't know which men, how many, or whether they faced any consequences. The prosecutors who enabled him advanced their careers. Acosta resigned as labor secretary only after public pressure. Villafana still works as a federal prosecutor. Not one government official faced criminal charges for the 2008 deal that violated federal law. The lesson isn't that the system failed, it's that the system worked exactly as designed when wealth and power are involved. Every institution that should have stopped Epstein instead enabled him. Local police gathered evidence, but prosecutors ignored it. Federal agents built a case, but their bosses negotiated it away. Journalists could have exposed him earlier, but didn't dig until the Miami Herald invested 2 years of resources. Prison officials had one job: keep him alive for trial, and couldn't manage 8 hours of competent supervision. When people ask how Epstein got away with it for so long, the answer is simple: because everyone let him. The judges who approved his cushy jail terms, the prosecutors who kept victims in the dark, the prison guards who literally slept while he died, the politicians who took his money and attended his parties while ignoring whispers about young girls. They all had choices, and they all chose complicity. 3 years after Epstein's death, Little St. James Island sells to an investment firm for $60 million, half its original price. The new owners plan to develop a luxury resort. The Manhattan mansion sells for $51 million to Michael Daffy, a former Goldman Sachs executive. The Palm Beach estate is demolished. Physical traces of Epstein's empire vanish into renovation and rubble. But questions persist in investigations that continue despite their primary target's absence. Why did Deutsche Bank process hundreds of suspicious transactions from Epstein's accounts after his conviction? Why did the State Department approve his travel to Saudi Arabia while he was a registered sex offender? What did the hard drives labeled with girls' names contain? And where are they now? The story you just witnessed is only what we can prove. The full truth likely involves more victims, more perpetrators, more institutional failures than we'll ever document. Each revelation raises the same question. If they could protect Jeffrey Epstein this completely, who else are they protecting right now? For more on how billionaires...
This shit crazy. This shit wild, chat. I'm glad that we watched this shit. Look, man. Keep your children. Keep everyone safe. Love everyone. I'm out.